Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're turning our attention to Bluejay Diagnostics, a company operating in the medical diagnostics field.
That's right. And we're looking at some recent analyses, reports, basically outlining where Bluejay stands right now, their financials, stock activity, all up to about April 2025.
Our aim today is really to unpack what these sources are telling us about Bluejay Diagnostics. What's the tech, what are the potential opportunities, and of course, the risks for anyone thinking about investing. We want to give you a clear sense of what's important here. Okay, so Bluejay Diagnostics, they're in that medical diagnostics, medical device industry, focused on point-of-care testing solutions.
And their key technology, the one that gets mentioned a lot, is the Symphony system. It's basically an analyzer plus these disposable cartridges. The idea is to take whole blood and isolate specific biomarkers.
Biomarkers?
Yeah.
Like measurable signs in the body for diseases.
Precisely. And the reports we looked at specifically mentioned their work on IL-6. That's a biomarker often used for, monitoring disease progression, especially in critical care settings.
Right, IL-6. And they also have another test, don't they? ALRI.
Yes, ALRI. That one's for diagnosing allergic conjunctivitis, eye allergies, basically.
Okay. And they're also developing some cardiac tests, too.
They are. High-sensitivity troponin T and NT-proBNP. Those are key indicators for heart conditions. Still under development, though.
So it sounds like a pipeline with potential, but, and this seems important, they're currently pre-revenue.
That's a crucial detail. Pre-revenue. And a very small team, too, about 7 employees mentioned, based in Acton, Massachusetts.
What does that pre-revenue status really mean for a company like this in this stage?
It means they're not selling products yet, not generating income from operations. They're heavily reliant on external funding investment capital to keep the lights on, run R&D, pay for clinical trials, navigate the regulatory pathways. It's a cash-intensive phase.
Which definitely puts their stock performance into perspective. We don't have, detailed daily charts here, but being a smaller company, IPO'd back in November 21, volatility is probably part of the story.
Almost certainly. Small cap, pre-revenue medtech often sees big swings.
And speaking of big swings, there was that massive jump on April 7th, 2025. The stock surged, over 100% intraday?
That's what the reports indicate. A huge move. Closed up significantly, around $8.09 after being up even more earlier.
What usually triggers something like that? A single-day move that dramatic?
It's almost always tied to some specific news event. Could be clinical trial data, funding news, regulatory updates, something the market sees as fundamentally changing the outlook. We can probably circle back to what might have caused that specific surge.
Good idea. Let's shift to their financial health now. And this seems a bit confusing.
How so?
Well, one source mentions a third-party projection, like hypothetical numbers for 2024 showing revenue, even net income.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, something like $12.4 million in revenue.
Right. But that clashes directly with the other information stating their pre-revenue.
It does. That's a discrepancy you absolutely have to question. Is that third-party number based on speculation, a future forecast maybe, or is it just inaccurate? The primary sources strongly suggest they are not generating revenue yet.
Okay, so leaning towards the pre-revenue status seems safer. And consistent with that, there isn't much readily available data on things like earnings per share or detailed debt levels from the main sources.
Which, again, points back to what we said earlier, likely relying heavily on equity financing, selling shares to raise cash.
We do see a reported net loss, though, around $1.4 million for the fiscal year 2024, and a really deeply negative return on assets, minus 82% or so.
That negative ROA, while stark, isn't entirely surprising for a company at this stage. They're pouring money into assets, the R&D, the technology that haven't started generating returns yet. It reflects the investment phase.
That spending is definitely happening. High cash burn.
For sure. It costs a lot to develop and test medical devices.
On the other hand, their debt-to-equity ratio is reportedly quite low, about 0.16 based on the numbers available.
Which sounds good, less debt burden. But in this context, it probably just reinforces that they're funding through equity, not borrowing much, which means potential dilution for existing shareholders down the line.
Got it. They also have negative cash flow from operations expected, maybe, but a strong current ratio, around 6.6.
A strong current ratio suggests they have enough liquid assets right now to cover short-term liabilities. That's positive. But it doesn't change the underlying cash burn from R&D and clinical trials. They still need ongoing funding.
And that brings us to something that really stood out in the information, the going concern doubt raised by their auditor. Can you break that down for us?
That's a significant flag. A going concern doubt from an auditor means they have substantial uncertainty about the company's ability to stay in business for the foreseeable future, typically the next year, without raising more money or starting to generate revenue. It highlights potential financial instability.
Okay, that's definitely a major point of caution. Let's try and balance this. What are the potential strengths here?
Well, the core Symphony technology itself, if it works as described, providing rapid biomarker analysis from whole blood at the point of care, that could be valuable. The sources suggest it has potential across different disease areas.
And the focus on critical care biomarkers like IO6 for sepsis or the cardiac markers,
Yeah.
those are areas with real need, right?
Absolutely. In critical care, speed and accuracy of diagnostics can make a huge difference. If their tech offers an edge there, maybe faster results, easier use, that's a potential competitive advantage. The sources mention their centrifugal technology specifically.
But the flip side remains. The pre-revenue status means funding is a constant risk. And that tiny team, just 7 employees, can they realistically scale up for a commercial launch?
Those are absolutely the key risks. Running out of money before getting products approved and generating sales is the classic biotech med device risk. And scaling manufacturing, sales, marketing support, that requires significant infrastructure and personnel they don't seem to have yet.
Now, what about market perception? How are investors generally viewing Bluejay? Sounds like maybe low visibility.
Seems that way. Being post-IPO but pre-revenue, without regular earnings updates, they might fly under the radar for many retail investors. Less news flow generally.
But there has been some recent news which might explain that April stock surge we talked about.
Correct. Two key things happened recently. First, they had an abstract accepted for a presentation.
Right, at the Society of Academic Emergency Medicine meeting about their Symphony IL-6 test.
Yes, presenting data from their Simon Eye study, focused on using the test in sepsis management. Positive clinical data presented at a major conference can be a big validator.
And the second thing, funding related.
Indeed. Around April 7th, the same day as that stock surge, they secured about $3.7 million. It was through something called a warrant inducement transaction, basically encouraging warrant holders to exercise them early to provide the company with immediate cash.
So that timing seems not coincidental.
Highly unlikely. The market probably reacted positively to both the incoming cash, which eases immediate funding pressure, and the anticipation of potentially good clinical data being presented soon.
Makes sense. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. The competitive landscape. Bluejay is tiny compared to the giants, isn't it? Abbott Labs, quite a ortho.
Oh, massively different scale. We're talking multi-billion-dollar companies with huge portfolios of FDA-approved products, global distribution, massive R&D budgets, versus Bluejay, a micro-cap company with pre-commercial products.
So how can they even compete?
It's not about competing head-to-head across the board. It's about finding a niche. If their Symphony technology truly offers a unique advantage, maybe speed, maybe specific biomarker performance, maybe cost effectiveness for certain setting, they could carve out a space.
Or get acquired.
That's always a potential outcome for smaller companies with promising tech in this space. If they get strong clinical validation, a larger player might see value in acquiring them to add that technology to their own offerings.
So looking ahead, what are the key things investors should watch for? The potential catalysts.
Definitely FDA clearances. Getting the green light for the IL-6 test and later the cardiac tests would be major milestones. Also, any news about partnerships, development deals, distribution agreements with larger companies would be very significant.
And the major risks still lurking.
Cash runway is number one. How long can their current funding last? Regulatory delays are always a risk in this sector. Things often take longer than expected, and the continued need for fundraising and potentially difficult market conditions.
Though it is worth noting the market they're targeting, like sepsis diagnostics, is growing.
Yes, the overall market trend for sepsis diagnostics is positive, projected growth around 8% annually. So if they can successfully bring their product to market, they'd be entering a growing field. That's a helpful tailwind.
Okay, let's try to pull this all together. If someone's looking at Bluejay Diagnostics right now, what's the takeaway?
Well, based on everything we've discussed, the assessment leans towards, I'd say, caution. Maybe a hold if you already own it, or a speculative buy only if you have a very high tolerance for risk.
Because of that pre-revenue status and the lack of guaranteed near-term wins.
Primarily, yes. The risks are substantial. It's very much dependent on future events, successful trials, approvals, funding playing out positively.
So definitely not for the faint of heart. This sounds like an investment where the outcome could be quite binary. Either it works out well if they achieve commercial success, or it doesn't, with significant potential loss.
That's a very fair assessment. High risk, potentially high reward, but the emphasis is definitely on the high risk part at this stage. Success hinges on navigating some very significant hurdles.
So wrapping up on Bluejay Diagnostics,
Hmm.
you've got a company with what sounds like interesting technology focused on a market with real needs, but it faces those big challenges common to early-stage medical device firms.
And that recent stock surge highlights how news can really move the needle here. But you can't ignore the underlying financial situation and that heavy reliance on future breakthroughs.
It really shows that tension, doesn't it, between the technological promise and the financial realities of a company that isn't making money yet, and how the market can get excited about even early positive signs.
Which leads to the core question for you, the listener. How comfortable are you with that kind of high-stakes potential? Weighing that innovative drive against the uncertainty inherent in bringing medical tech to market.
If you want to explore further, checking out Bluejay's SEC filings, like their Form 10-K, is a good next step for more detailed financials. And definitely keep an ear out for news from that SEM conference presentation. And if you found this exploration of Bluejay Diagnostics helpful, please do subscribe, like, and drop us a comment. It really helps us create more content like this for you.